Hey guys, what's up? So today is going to be a video of me mainly just talking. It's going to be a guide, not necessarily a guide, but just kind of some info to think about. This is basically my new play style. I've learned this over the last couple months just playing, and I'm about to like nerd the fuck out and blow some minds. I know I'll probably get a lot of flame for this video if anybody even sees it, but um, so basically, I get like a story, and then like I'll explain why I changed the way I play. Um, so the first thing I want to say is that Siege is predominantly the best troop by most players. Most players think that Siege are the killers. They're the best troops. There's nothing else but Siege. Everything else is meat. You put the Siege behind it, the Siege kill. That's it. Well, you're fucking wrong. Every single troop is capable of being super strong in attack, meaning they are capable of getting a lot of kills, but people mistreat them, don't know how to use them. A lot of people just don't know simple game mechanics and don't pay attention to ranges or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and tell you what happened to me a while ago. I actually didn't get a video on it because I lost battle reports and shit, and I just kind of shitty because I wanted to make that video, but I got zeroed from like 5.5 million power, 6 million power, and I was predominantly like a siege castle. Like I had 250k T9 siege, I had 200 plus T8 cannons, and then just like I had a bunch of archers, like probably 100k, and then like just barely any infantry, cavalry, and that kind of stuff. So I was predominantly a siege castle. I was a siege stacker. So when I got zeroed, it took 2 rallies, and one of the rallies killed a lot of T9 siege, but didn't get through, and I only got about 60,000 kills in the 2 rallies, and they killed like 600,000 troops. And they were like, of course, 1.2 million rallies or something like that. But my point is that they didn't get as many kills as I thought they should, and they didn't do as well as I thought they should. So what happened was this was after I started to switch my playstyle a bit, and I was kind of panicked because I did have a siege heavy castle, and I was in the process of actually killing them, and like killing them through battles, and then basically I did that through a kill event, and they killed me outside kill event when we've never done that in our kingdom. It's kind of like shitty, because otherwise they wouldn't have killed me, is what I'm trying to say. But I was a siege stacker, and now I'm not. I'm completely, I think siege are good, but they're only good in certain situations, and that goes with every single troop, and it's not just one troop trumps all. It really isn't, and a lot of people just don't understand that. So the second thing I'm going to get into is basically ranges, ranges of troops. So if you look at siege, you have a range 10, and a range 1. So you can see attack range down the bottom left, attack range 10, attack range 1. Archers, they have like 8 and 5, and anyway, you get the point. So these types have 8, these types have 5. Cavalry, it's 4, range 4, and then range 1, and then infantry is just range 1. So what I've found is that a lot of people don't accommodate ranges. When people send their dispatch, the siege will kill because it's the highest range, which means that it will take priority in the killing. So for a lot of players, they think that siege is the best troop because they're the only ones that kill. But if you were to take siege completely out, and if you were to just send infantry, cavalry, and archers, well, guess who's going to get the kills? It's going to be the archers, because they're range priority. They're the last range. And if you take the archers out, the cavalry will kill. And if you take the cavalry out, the infantry will kill. But they can also kill interchangeably depending on how much you put of each troop. So if I put 20,000 cannons and I put 100,000 infantry, well, guess what? The infantry are going to get a substantial amount of kills based on the number of them. But those cannons, they're actually going to get a good amount of kills too, because they're such a good ranged troop, and they're protected by all this meat, essentially. So my point is that people don't know simple game mechanics, and they don't know simple. It's a numbers game. It's really just a numbers game, and like what the stats of the other person has, what you have, what your scout shows, what they have. Do they have a lot of siege in their castle? If so, like attack with cavalry, man. Like that's the counter. And attack with cavalry is your highest range. Like why would you put siege if you're trying to kill with cavalry? Like you know what I'm saying? It's there. You have to give your troops priority where it matters. So what I found out is that infantry and cavalry are actually really good killers. And not only are they really good killers, but they're really good meat. Like they have a lot of HP, they have good defense. It's hard to burn through a lot of infantry and cavalry, especially infantry. And as you can tell by my avatar, I'm basically based around infantry now, and a lot of people are doing this because they're starting to realize that everybody is way behind. They're in the past and they're just thinking siege only, and that's all they know. So they can't think outside the box, and I was one of them until somebody actually showed me. But then I started to think about it and started to research for myself, and like there's a lot of shit that we don't know, that we haven't experimented because we've just been only using siege. And that's talking as like rock as a whole. Like a lot of people use siege, man. Like you go to a kingdom and it's like all siege, and these people with infantry and cavalry are just going in and they're fucking wrecking house. Like if you put 1 million T10 infantry in a palace, you can't siege rally that. You can't kill it. It's almost impossible to do it in one rally. You got to send 2 to 3 full siege rallies. I'm talking 1.2 million troops with 200% war machine attack to hit a full palace of T10 infantry and not win, and not kill a lot either, because infantry have super high defense. And so this is going into range priority. So if infantry are by themselves, they're going to get all the kills, and not only are they going to get all the kills, but all their stats are going to come into play to help them kill. So look at the fucking HP for these infantry. 615 HP, 73 defense. If you have a palace full of siege, let's just compare the two. Trebuchet, 246 HP, 24 defense. That is more than 3 times less the defense than infantry. So that's just something to think about. Now maybe you could take the palace with siege because it has good attack, but you know what else also has good attack is cavalry. And nobody thinks 164 attack. If you put them as priority in killing, they're gonna get fucking shitload of kills, man. Like that's a lot of attack to just ignore. So if someone has a palace full of siege, send some fucking T10 cavalry or T8 or T9, any cavalry you got, just send a full rally, and I guarantee you that you will kill a lot. You might not win based on tiers and whatever, but you'll do a big chunk of damage, because cavalry are underrated. And a thing to know is that siege, just like they get shredded by anything when they're defending. Siege are horrible on defense. They're not good. They're only good for attack. So archers haven't really done much with them, but I honestly think that archers could be almost better than siege. I think because of the T9 archers, they have a chance for critical strike, and they also have greatly increases bowman attack damage. So I'm not sure, but I think that these bowmen, they actually empower each other. So if you have 50k, they do a certain amount of damage, but if you have 100k, they do more damage because there's more bowmen in the dispatch. So it's something I have to test. It's just the same with spearmen, like infantry spearmen. They also have this thing that empowers each other, so greatly increases spearman attack damage. So I'm not sure if it does, but it's like a food for thought thing. I gotta test it. But anyway, my castle is not siege heavy anymore. My castle has plenty of mixed troops. I honestly don't train archers because I don't see a need for having a lot of ranged troops in my defensive based castle with a bunch of range 1 troops. So even these T9 siege towers, they have good attack, but their defense is also good. 45 defense is not something to be ignored, along with the HP. There's a reason why it's range 1, and there's a reason why... Sorry, I got like a frog in my throat. There's a reason why siege are range 1, there's a reason why infantry are range 1, and there's a reason why there's an infantry 1, or I mean a range 1 cavalry. And I think, in my opinion, I haven't tested enough, but if you use them interchangeably, range 1 just destroy together, because it's range priority for killing, right? Like, you don't have like many other like ranges of all other types, right? So I think range 1 is something that shouldn't be ignored and should almost be stacked, because that's a lot of your defense, man. Like, if you like look at how many infantry I have. I have probably 400,000 T10 infantry, and judging based on how they performed for me thus far, like, they're killer on defense, but I've been using them for attack. Like, I don't even know what they're like on defense so much. And the cool thing about it is that I have those infantry that'll kill the range 1, but I also have cavalry that are range 1, and I got 300k of these motherfuckers. So if anybody even tries to rally me with siege, they have to burn through those infantry first, and that's 400,000 of dense, like, defense and HP of infantry. And these things, they're going to have a field day killing all that siege in the rally. So if you can kind of see what I'm saying, is that rallies, a lot of people would predominantly put only siege, and I think that that needs to be rethought for a lot of people. And the only reason why I'm going over all this information is because I find the game's getting really stale. I find players aren't like researching enough, they're not finding enough. I get people from other kingdoms all the time saying, man, like, how do you do that? Like, how are you killing people? How are you getting 300,000 kills in a solo hit and like all this shit? And I'm just like, man, like, literally just read the game. Like, just like, you're on it most of the time anyway. Like, you might as well just learn a bit about it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I don't know. I really don't want to post this video. I feel like it's gonna cause a lot of controversy, but I feel like the majority of Rock plays Siege, and I want people to be tough to play against. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't play this game to just fucking slaughter people. Like, I want to have a good fight, and I want to have a good fight, and if I lose some shit out of it, I'm like, well, you know, like, that sucks, but it's a good fight. Like, man, I got zeroed from 6 million power, and I'm still here. Like, I'm not just playing until I lose kind of thing. It's like, I want to have good fights, and I want to be challenged. That's the part of the game. I'm competitive. I want to play, like, in a competitive atmosphere. I want to be challenged by people, and so I'm just kind of putting this information on the table, and people can take what they want from it, and they can listen to me if they want, and if they don't, that's fine. If I'm wrong about anything, just let me know. It's all up for discussion. It's all up for debate, because anything in this game is not really concrete when it comes to battling. It's more like just like a touch and feel kind of thing. Like, you can figure out if someone sends, you know, only siege to a tile, but you send like only cavalry and you slaughter them. Like, that's something that you learn over time. And a lot of people, they just need experience fighting, and a lot of people don't fight. So it's kind of sad to see a lot of kingdoms, they just go into farm mode and they play Farmville, and they just build up this massive power, 4 or 5 million, 6 million power, and they have like maybe 1 million kills, and then, you know, they just get slaughtered because, like, they don't know how to fight, and they would rather learn how to fight at 6 million power than 600k power. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to fight by the time you get 6 million power, like, that far in a kingdom. But anyway, I'm just like ranting on. This video is getting a little long, but you can take what you want from this video. Let me know if anything's wrong. If I could learn, I always love to learn more about battling and stuff. That just makes me better as a person, like as a player. It makes me more well-rounded. And anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I'm just talking a lot at a like, you know, at a standstill screen. But I hope you take something from the video and you learn a little bit. So I'll see you guys later.